Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A small boy from the city of Agra, an accidental entrepreneur to a serial entrepreneur. It was a journey I never thought I would take. I grew up in Agra. My father was a government employee who passed away from cancer while he was on the job, so I got the job in lieu of his job. The next of kin gets the government job. So I became a clerk in a government institute. I was working there. But food was my passion, was my hobby. I would love to eat. I would go out and explore. Money was scarce. So what I did was what anyone in my age at that time would do. I made friends with thelawalas in Agra. So I would go there, stand with them, gab around all evening. They would feed me a Frankie or two. I would eat, come back happy. That was my life. Slowly, I started making friends with almost all the thelawalas, but one was in particular. His name is Mama Frankie, Sukumar, was a very dear friend of mine. So he said, यार मेरे को थोड़ा हाथ बटा है, इतनी भीड़ हो जाती है, मैं कैसे काम करूँगा? मैंने कहा ठीक है, तू मुझे खिलाता रहे, मैं तेरा काम करता रहूँगा. So he would get a bunch of people around him, मैं जाके order ले लेता, उसको pass on करता, वो खाना बनाता रहता था. Slowly, this moved on, where he had to go and talk with his customers. So I would take the mantle और मैं तवे पे रोटियां सेकता था, उसकी frankies बनाता था. And that was my beginning into the world of food. I never thought it would still become my career because I would love eating, not cooking. But that was fun. My family saw it. उनको concern हो गया कि लड़का ठेले वाला बन जाएगा, convent में पढ़ाया है, निकालो इसको देश से बाहर. So they sent me abroad, which is where I finished my catering. Years later, I was working with Subway International, and they sent me back to India to set up the SOPs in those days. Came down, couldn't figure out what India was all about because I had never worked in India in that capacity. So within 6 months, I went back. I said, nahi, India mujhse nahi hoga. Went back, started working in the US, setting up restaurants and all. Destiny made a turn. I landed up back again over here. But during this time, what I did was I was traveling all around. When I was traveling, I discovered that Indians in particular, amongst all communities, would travel with suitcases full of snacks when they would travel, because a large bunch of them would be vegetarians. Thepla, a farsan. And why? Because they wouldn't know the kind of vegetarian food that was available around the world, and there was no absolute source of information that would tell them what to eat, where to eat, how to order, where to go. And that, my friends, was the starting of the Nomad Foodie. I said, I'm a nomad, I'm a foodie. Why not create a platform where people start discovering food from different parts of the world and talk about it? And that's how we started this community, the Nomad Foodie. Years later, I met my wife. I'm a half Punjabi, half Bengali, so I have roots in Multan. My wife, who's a Multani, is also a very well-known chef over here in India, doing United Punjab cuisine and Himachali cuisine. So we started talking about food and discovery. And that's when I realized that there's a whole bunch of ingredients around the world and in India that are yet to be explored. So what we started doing is we started traveling to discover ingredients. So we went to Himachal where we found bichu putti. Bichu putti is a saag, well, it's a wild fern जिसमें कांटे होते हैं और हिमाचल में माएँ अपने बच्चों को उसकी पिटाई लगाती हैं. But it is edible and has huge medicinal values. So we started incorporating that in our food. We made bichu putti soup, ramens, and so on, and we would serve it to the guests and they would love it. And thereon, we started exploring new ingredients, new products, and started incorporating in our food and our journeys. So thereon, this took the form of chef's tables, culinary pop-ups, food pop-ups, and now consultancies. So that is where we have come. We have created 5 brands, 2 restaurants, and we are still at it. That's Nomad Foodie for you. A small journey with passion. Thank you.